Good afternoon. In this video, we're going over this past week's trades and the weekly recap. Before I get into the video, if you're new to the room, you can find the link in the description of the video and in my bio section of social media accounts. Also, please like the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. I did finish the week with 15 wins and 1 loss for a win rate of 93.75%. So definitely pleased about that. This week was kind of one of those weeks where you just tested your patience, and I was not going to take calls when VIX was at 14. It was basically at 14 and under most of the week, and I was not taking calls based on that. I don't care what was going on, what the chart looked like. It kept grinding up. I just wasn't playing it with VIX being so low because I was afraid of a rug pull, and put the call ratio was very, very low. And to me, all the ingredients were there for a rug pull. It just didn't happen. We got some put plays here and there, but just it didn't work out as much as I thought, because I thought we were going to have a big dump this weekend. We just didn't. The SPY just kept grinding up or channeling, and VIX just kept getting pushed down. So this definitely tested your patience this week. I was not playing calls based on VIX, solely on VIX. I didn't care what the chat was on. You can play the calls, you can take the risk. I was not, and I'm not going to just take the calls because everybody wants me to, because I don't do things like that. I don't do things because everyone wants me to. I do the way I trade. I'm not changing my trading style for anybody. So that's why I'm able to stay in the game as long as I can and am, is because you just got to try to use your head and think outside the box. And to me, playing calls when VIX was this low was just not very smart in my opinion. So so with that said, traded his room on Monday. SPY puts into 427.50, which is right here. You can see Friday's support right there, and it's pretty much holding during pre-market. So I used that for the level for opening. That we had a big green candle open, was not looking at calls. I didn't care what it was doing. Then when it pulled that back down and broke lower day with it right at the 428.15 area, that's where I took puts. I took the 42.80 puts at $7, and they went from $7 to $8.80 in that little candle right there. That dropped from here to here. Then it popped up, tried to go to a higher day again, quickly got rejected. I didn't play again until 119 because I was not playing calls right here, and I wasn't going to try to guess the top. I was just going to wait. And when it had this big red candle right here, I didn't take it right there. I could have right there. I definitely could have taken this below the 429, but I just wanted to be certain that it wasn't going to bounce off VWAP. So I took it underneath the 428.50 area. I took the 42.90 puts at 730, and they went from 730 to 910 right there. So ended up being a quick little play right there. Then it kind of bounced a little bit. I didn't take it here, but I took it here. It came back down to lower day right here. It bounced up, and I took it right when it broke below this 427.70 area. I took the 42.85 puts at 690, and it went from 690 to 820 right there. Got a nice 150% play on that. So definitely was a good play. I caught that right before it dumped. Not quite sure what was happening right there, why it dumped like that, but SPY should have dumped a lot more than what it did, because what is this right here, Monday right here? This has just been a ridiculous move, and I thought for sure we were going to get a bigger dump than what we did. It just kept channeling in this 426 to 430 area. So it got bought right there. So anyways, that was Monday. Tuesday was, let's see, traded his room on Tuesday. I said SPY puts under 426.50, which was this right here, the previous day's low, and this candle. Then it dropped below that area on the first opening candle. I did not touch it. And then I think that I was looking at puts below this candle. It didn't. It popped and it raged more, and it just kept going. And I'm just like, I'm not taking calls. I don't care what it's going, because VIX at this particular time, in fact, I'll just switch this over to VIX on the 10-minute chart so you guys can see VIX, what it was doing. Let's see, which one was Monday, the 5th. Oh, so Monday was at 15. Okay. This was when it was at 14 on Tuesday. I was not taking calls when VIX was under 14. For some reason, I thought it was under 14 here, but no, it was at 15 on Monday. But 14.40, 14.50. So it was at on Tuesday. I was not taking it. I waited. I took puts at 11.24, which was right here. Now, I took it right when it broke below this 427.35 area, which is right here where this candle is. I took it right, pushed through VWAP. I think I chased it. This was definitely a news thing. I'm not quite sure what it was, but I took the 42.80 puts at 8.60, and they went from 8.60 to 12.30 in that dump right there. So that ended up being a good play. Then it quickly got bought back up. Came back up to higher day. I could have bought puts right at higher day, but I didn't. I waited once it got below this 427.35 area again, which is where these candles, and that's where kind of like where the 20 EMA was right here, and it got bought up right here. Once it broke below that area and pushed through VWAP, I got to VWAP. I have the 42.80 calls at 42.80 puts, not calls, puts at 690, and they went from 690 to the 1030 in that dump right there. Then I waited, it got bought up again. I waited till let's see, 337, which is right here. I bought puts rate, I think right when I broke below. No, I think I actually bought it when it was going up above the 428 level. I think I bought it right around this 428.20 level or 428.15. And I had the 42.85 puts at 350. It went from 350 to 670 in that little dump right there. So actually that's a pretty decent dump. So that ended up being a good play right there. I just took the chance that it was gonna dump end of day, and it did dump almost 100%. Then it quickly went back to higher day. The SPY has just been relentless and just hasn't had any good news really whatsoever. Nothing to be positive about except for just stupid stuff. So this was what, Wednesday the 7th, right? Yeah, this was when SPY was dropping, and it was just sitting and channeling. It wasn't really doing anything. It was right underneath the 14 level, and it wasn't really going anywhere as SPY was dropping, which I kind of thought was kind of puzzling, because SPY was actually dropped what, like $3, and VIX barely moved. I kind of thought that was kind of odd. So, but in a nutshell, I was also looking at it from the point of view, because VIX wasn't moving much, that there's going to be a lot more downside. Now, if VIX popped like massive, like the 15 to 16 in that little drop, then I'd be skeptical that that drop was probably it, and that we weren't going to get much of a drop. But because it barely moved over 14 on a $3 drop, to me that just told me that we're going to go much lower. So was gonna be wait that out. So I took puts at 10 o'clock. Actually, before I'm getting ahead of myself, the 7th traded days room SPY puts under 427.50, which is right here, this area again. 427.50. Yeah, I picked it kind of far down that time, but yeah, whatever. First candle was green, big green candle. I was not taking calls again based on VIX. You could have, I was not. I stuck to my guns and I waited. Once it broke lower day, I grabbed puts. I grabbed the 42.90 puts at 880. Then you can see it bounced. When it bounced, I actually averaged down. I added more at 650, making my new average 765. And then it dumped. So I was kind of using this as, okay, I was hoping for a dump right here. Then when it bounced, I decided to average down and take the risk, and it finally dumped. So then went from 765 to 1160 on that play right there. Then it bounced up. Then I took puts again at 1113, which is right 1113 right here. As you can see, this is lower day, FU candle right here, big green candle. Then it came up a little bit, rejected the 20 EMA. Once it broke below the bodies of these candles of 427.45, I grabbed the 42.80 puts at 820, and they went from 820 to 910. Not much of a play, kind of got bought back up. And then I bought puts again at 113, which is right here. You can see I could have bought it right here. I might have even done that in the challenge account or the other accounts I have. I'm not quite sure, but it's consolidating a little bit right here. A nice little bear flag. It's getting bought right at the 426 80 area, 80-ish area. Gets bought, gets slammed down, and gets bought. So when it came back down underneath this area, you can see the bodies of these candles right here. I almost thought about taking it right here. Then when it popped back up, and when it got below this 426.88, we'll even say 80, 85, because you get the body of these candles. I like seeing all these bodies right here, and it quickly got rejected until I took puts right here on this candle. I took the 42.70 puts at 550, and then went from 550 to 890 in that dump right there. So that ended up being a good play. Then the last play of the day, I took puts at 311, which is right here. But I tried to take off. It's rejecting the 20 EMA, which is this blue line. Rejected it here and here. When I tried to pop, got rejected, and came back down underneath this 44.26.50 area. That's where I grabbed the puts. I grabbed the 42.70 puts at $4, and I went from $4 to $5.50. So I just kept buying puts on the drops because I was confident that we were going to have more downside, especially with VIX not really doing much on the drops, barely moving, barely popping on these drops. So I just kept going with it, and that's pretty much my thesis for the entire day, entire week, I should say. Then VIX just gets pushed underneath even more lows on Thursday. So let's see, Thursday pre-market, SPY puts in a 426, which is down here. I did get to it. It kind of got bought. I mean, a little bit. First candle was green. When it broke lower day, I grabbed it. I grabbed it underneath the 426.50. I grabbed the 42.65 puts at $7, and they went from $7 to $10. So that ended up being a nice play. Then I bought puts at 9.58, which is right here. It's probably the only thing I did do that well. I bought it at the higher day, thinking for a rejection. I bought the 42.65 puts at 6.90, and then it went up more up here. I think I added more at 9.58, which is 10.29, which is right here. This is where I added more at 3.30, make my new average 4.20. Then it just kept going and going and going. Just a thought for sure this thing was going to dump. SPY VIX was well below 14. It just kept grinding and grinding up. It was just very, very annoying. I just waited and waited and waited. Then I finally took puts again closer to at the money at 11.46, which is right 11.46 right here. As you can see, you get the candles right here. You get the bodies and this right below the RCT trend line, which I don't think was there at the time. When I got below 428, that's where I took the 42.85 puts at 640, and they went from 640 to 850 right here. So it ended up being a nice little play. Then I just didn't really do anything. I think I played this in the challenge account right there. So, but that's all I took for Thursday. Then on Friday, let's see, Friday, the 9th, traded his room. I said SPY puts on a 428.50, which is down here at this low, this lower high, and it just takes off. I was not chasing this. And SPY just kept going and going and going, and VIX was at 13.50. Just, it's so crazy to me how low that was going based on everything that was happening. It shouldn't be down here, but the market didn't care. The market was just, I don't give a shit mode, and just kept going and going and going. So I waited, and so my first puts was at 10.44, which was right here. I got these two red candles right here. Once I broke below these two red candles, I decided to take puts. Took the 43.10 puts at 5.80, and they went from 5.80 to 8.80 in that little drop right there. Also, I mean, VIX was at this point in time right at the PDC, so I was expecting it to have a strong push, which it did. Not that strong considering the amount of the dump we had, well, definitely stronger. This push was stronger here than it was here, because last time here was a $3 drop, and this time it was about a $3 drop. So yeah, it moved more. VIX moved more. So there was more fear in this drop than there was over here. So I was able to catch that one. Then I took puts again at 11.52, which is right 11.52 right here. Got this big nasty red candle, FU candle set up right here. Green, another green candle when it broke below. I think I grabbed it right here underneath the 429.85 area. I grabbed the 4,300 puts at 660, and they went from 660 to 1240 in that dump right there. So that ended up being a nice little play. And then I took puts again at 1225, which is right here. I got this big dump, it bounced up. Then when it came back down and broke below this candle and this body, this candle right here and here, below the 429.40. That's where I grabbed the 4,300 puts again at $8, and they went from $8 to $11.50 in that drop right there down to PDC. Did not want to go green. Anytime I went, didn't want to go red. Anytime I went underneath, went below PDC, which is this white line, it got bought back up. It was very adamant about closing green and being green for the day. So very, very annoying, very, very manipulated, and VIX finished green too. So that's kind of a big sign that something's going to happen. The question is when. So, but anyways, that I wasn't touching calls, not with VIX being this low. I just stay and waited for the right put opportunities to play, and that's what I did. I stuck to my thesis. I wasn't changing my game plan for anything or anyone. I just stuck with it, and it worked out. I had some really good plays, only one loss for the week, considering how stubborn SPY was and how VIX was acting and the kind of week it was. I did really well considering how the week panned out. So that's going to do it for the recap. I hope this has helped you understand my mentality, what I was doing, and why I was very adamant I was not going to play calls underneath VIX being so low, especially with everything going on in the world. So sometimes you just got to stick to your guns regardless, and that's what I did. So that's going to do it. Thanks for watching.